I'm excited about this video. We got another video from my Tune 45 barbers. This is gonna be a side part pomp, and I'm gonna try to break this down as best as I can. We're gonna go ahead and start cutting the top, establishing our perimeter all the way around. Alright, once we do that, we're going to go ahead and start cutting in the shape that we want on the top. And what we want is longer in the front, shorter towards the back. You don't want it too short in the back, because then you're going to cut too short into the cowlick and then it's going to start sprouting out. Now I'm just kind of blending with my razor. Not necessarily blending, but more so taking off weight. I'm just using my regular Tune 45 razor to establish this technique. You can do this all the way through the top. So now I'm going to add some products from Tune 45. This is indestructible clay. The color of the font, if you notice on all the pucks, are a different color. This one's gold, and during ancient Egyptian times, gold stood for indestructible. It's almost like their power color, you know. Alright, so we'll begin to start blow drying to the direction that the hair wants to grow. I'll also be adding volume, but if you notice, we left length where the side part is, and that's because we want to keep that squared silhouette. Now that it's dry, I can do a little bit more customizing of the cut. I could be doing point cutting. And that's the top, guys. The silhouette is done, the structure is done. Now we can just start fading right into the top. And I'm using my TI liners to create my initial guideline. Following it up with the bronze shaver, because I want to get it as tight, as close as possible on the sides. Alright, so now let's start doing the blending. We're going to use our blade open all the way through, keeping it consistent. If you notice, my guidelines are consistent. They're parallel with one another, and that's very important. We'll start to blend this out using my clipper close and opening gradually as we go up. I open the clipper probably like 2 or 3 times. It's important to actually go up when you're fading, guys. You can't just kind of flick at a line and expect something to fade, to blend. You guys notice I'm kind of showing you when I'm opening my lever there. Alright, at this point we use our one open. And again, this guideline is consistent. It's parallel with the last guideline. Can't stress how important that is, guys. Now we close the clipper. Alright. And now I'm using my half guard to blend what's left of it. Like there's a little faint line there still, and I'm using my clipper, my half, to blend that out. And if I miss any guards, of course in the bottom left corner we have the color guide, so you can match the colors with the guards. Here we have my blade open. I'm just kind of detailing all the work that I just did. using corners to work in smaller spaces. Now I'm using my number 2, and as you can see, it's closed. If I don't say open, guys, it's closed. And I'm coming right off the shape of his head. Now we'll follow it up with our 1.5 guard to blend into that. Alright, there was still a little bit of weight there, so I went back to my 1 open. And that's just, at this point, once we go back to our 1 open, after this, the blend should really come together. You should be able to see it come together. And then we'll just detail from here, try to get it, the fade to the next level. And I think that's, you can have your system, but the detail portion, for me, really makes blends, pop. Like, I feel like if you really spend time taking out darker areas, and matching light areas with darker areas, or darker areas with light areas, I should say, that's what really makes your fade next level, man. And this is the last guard I'm using. It's the number 3, and that's just kind of blending into the perimeter that we created in the beginning of the haircut. I don't know if you guys see this, like this darker area right here, but what I'm hitting right now is I'm just trying to, sometimes, some people's heads are just stubborn, and like there's just spots in their head that you gotta like spend more time in just to get just to get it to look better. So I did my number 2, realized it didn't work, so I went down to my 1.5 guard, and I feel like that's improving the blend. Alright, so at this point, after our number 3, just to kind of refine and not have too much of a ridge there, we're gonna go scissor over comb. But at this point, man, I feel like the blend is dope. I love the weight around the perimeter. Like that's that whole UK vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's something about when I see a different trend or a different style, like I embrace it and I want to learn it, and it's art to me. Like it's art to me, and being able to create those looks is really fulfilling in my eyes because I'm passionate about barbering, man. So hopefully you guys like it too. We're gonna go through this side. Hopefully you can follow along. It's the same exact steps I did on the other side. And if you have trouble again with the guards, the color guard is there. Whatever color you see there is what I'm using on my clipper. And while I'm cutting this side, I kind of just wanted to speak to you guys about this past weekend, man. We was at the Orlando premiere, and I feel like it was one of the best experiences of my career so far, man. We was at the booth with our team, all the people that you guys notice behind the scenes, all the people that you guys see help us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's Dre, whether it's Danny, Roxy. I mean, we just had such a dope team at it, and I think there was at one point I was on Instagram and I took a picture and I just saw everybody manning the booth and helping people and answering questions, and then we closed the booth down and we were breaking it down. Everybody was just helping, man. It was so dope, man. I'm obsessed with the Tune 45 culture and what it's become, man. And I gotta thank you guys, all the subscribers, all the supporters, man. I gotta thank you guys for making it possible for us. On top of that, man, it's just been dope spending the weekend with other YouTube influencers, other people who have the same passion I do, and ultimately we're influencing the same people, and hanging out with Get Beamed, with 360 Jeezy, with Tyler Trotter, and then my other brothers, man, like Perez, Matt Gifted Hands, Chris Loco. Like it was a dope weekend, man. So if you were out in the Orlando premiere, please comment below. Let me know what you thought about the show. To me, it's the best show. To me, I'm not gonna say it's the best show, because that's subjective, but it's one of my favorite shows, man. So alright, so let's get to the lineup. As you can see, my man had some hairline issues, and so I lined it up where I think it belongs, and I asked him if he wanted to keep it that way so that it could grow back, and he said yes. So what I decided to do, to give it some time to grow back, because it's not that much of a difference. Like if you give it a week or two, it'll probably match up. We're gonna use some color enhancement so that and the color enhancement lasts like 3 to 5 days. So I'm hoping that that ease the growing pains until it grows all the way back. And next time I cut his hair, it'll look good. I won't ever cut his hair probably ever again, because he was a model. I think this was in, where was this class? I think this was in Portland, I believe. Yeah, this was in Portland. The C cut, man, for me, like on certain people, once you line up that C cut, man, it just makes the blend pop even more. So here we're gonna use Kiss Express. I'm just darkening that area up, and I'm focusing in on that area, and then we're gonna brush it in. I'm gonna add probably one more layer of the Kiss, and I think that's gonna, one more layer of the Kiss is gonna look good, I think. So and this little corner right here was brought back a little bit too, so we'll fill that in as well. And then I see a little bit of a line there, so I gotta touch up that little bit of a line right there on the C cup. I don't know if you guys can see it, but when you're recording, you don't really have mirrors. It wasn't until like I kind of look at the mirror, like when you're doing classes, the mirror is the people watching, you know what I mean? But we touched it up with the one guard close, and I think that fixed it. I think that took out that line. That was his reaction to his cut. Alright, so last but not least, we're going to put some 245 shave gel, and we're going to go ahead and start cleaning up the C cup. And you can see the shave gel is on his hairline, but nothing's happening to the color. The color's in there. It's good to go. Unless he shampoos it, shampooing it will make it fade, but it's not going to take it out. Like you're going to take a couple days and some shampoo to be able to take all of that color out. And all of this, guys, is semi-permanent hair color. And guys, if you're learning something from this video, please smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. As a whole, like, I'm trying, after spending this weekend with Jeezy, Get Beamed, and all the 245 squad, man, like I'm excited to get back to it. I got a new laptop, like I'm ready to start editing, bro, like dropping content. So, and like always, we'll have an extended version of this video on the Online Academy. So if you're part of the Online Academy, man, look out for that. So we did everything with hot air. Now we're gonna use cold air and just kind of finish off the look. I believe I added a little bit of royal wax just as a topper to give it a tad bit more shine, because the indestructible clay, that's matte. The royal wax is pretty much the same thing, as it's a clay almost, but it has some shine to it, so that's why we named it wax, royal wax. That's the final look, guys. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. If you like the cut, I like it, man. I hope you guys do too.